Hi, this is Circus Fit. I'm Carrie, and today I would like to share with you some of my favorite resistance band exercises to keep the shoulders healthy for aerial arts. So these are really important to do before you train, before you teach, or before you perform aerial to help keep the shoulder joint healthy and prevent injuries. My favorite TheraBand to use, or my favorite resistance band to use, is the TheraBand brand green resistance band. There's a lot of resistance bands out there in the stores that are really strong, and they don't really work for a lot of these exercises. They're a little bit too dense. So find a TheraBand that you can kind of easily move around. Okay, so let's get started. Start with your TheraBand in your hands. Pull your belly button in and soften your knees and feel your core engaged. Put your hands nice and wide on the band, and then lift your arms up and over to the back and up and over to the front. So keep the rest of your body just nice and steady, and just your shoulders. So this is a general exercise you've probably already done to some extent. And for the first few, maybe the first 4 or 5, keep your hands nice and wide. And as your shoulders start to feel a little bit warm, you can start to walk your hands in a little bit closer. And then you get a little bit more of a deeper stretch and a deeper range of motion. So if you feel like you have to do something like this, or bend your elbows to get your arms back, widen your hands again. And another thing you can do is, as you get to that point where you're feeling a stretch, pull gently on the resistance band to get you back up and over through the hard spots. And that is where the injury prevention work happens, is where we can have the strength to pull ourselves out of a stretch that's too deep. That's very important. So we're going to do this a few more times. You should do about 20 rotations or 20 reps of these. You can get your hands as close as you want, as long as you're keeping the integrity of your shoulders, keeping your elbows straight, not doing any kind of weird movements. I'm going to do one more of these. And now take the resistance band in front of you again. And again, you can always adjust how far apart your hands are from each other. You can take your shoulders down and then just open and close, open and close, open and close. Do about 20 of these. Make sure your shoulders are down so they're not up here. Shoulder blades resting down your back. Belly button in, lower ribs in. We'll do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then usually I like to do a couple more up and overs here just to get some movement happening. And now take your resistance band to a bar or beam or something where you can wrap it around. And there are a few ways to do this. So a lot of people like to tie their resistance band around a beam, which totally works. For me, I also just like to be efficient and just make it come around and then hold one side with a stability hand and then use the working hand on the other side. So that's what I'm going to show you now. So the first one we're going to do is just hold your stability side steady, and take your working hands, my right hand, my elbow is going to come into my side, and I want to make sure that I'm not twisting or doing any kind of weird thing. I'm really square with my hips, my ribs, and my shoulders, and I'm just going to pull in. So my elbow stays to my side. I'm not letting my elbow come out. My elbow stays to the side, and I'm just rotating internally in the shoulder. I'm going to do this 20 times. Don't make it so hard that the first 10 are hard for you. See how easy this is for me? We're not doing pull-ups here. We're not doing that kind of brute strength training. We are working with the smaller muscles that help support the joint. So you should feel, by the time you get to 15 or 20, you should feel definitely a little bit of tired, achy feeling in the shoulder area, but never feel like you're struggling with these exercises. Let's do 2, and last one. Now I'm going to turn around and do the left hand the same thing. So here I am on the left side. My right hand is stabilizing here, and my left arm is the one that's going to be working, the arm that's closest to the bar. Stabilize my left elbow towards my ribs, shoulder down, everything's neutral, neck is relaxed, belly button in, and then just start pulling, just rotating in and out. Remember, don't let your elbow come out. Keep your elbow in towards your sides. We're only doing one motion here. So this would be two motions at the same time. Only one motion, which we're pulling for an internal rotation of the shoulder. And we'll do 20 of these. Again, don't make it too hard. Just breathe. Once you get used to this sequence, you can just breeze through it really, really quickly. And it's really great for all the shoulder stuff. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great, so we're gonna stay here and I'm going to change into my right hand now, so the first hand. So I wanna adjust the TheraBand in a way that makes it feel right. Now my left hand becomes the stabilizing hand. And again, if you're tied here, then don't worry about the stabilizing hand. I just like it this way. So left hand is a stabilizing. Now my right arm is gonna work with pulling external rotation. This one's a little bit harder for me, so I'm gonna step a little bit closer, elbow into the side, and then I pull out, and out, and out. This is the one of these two that most people might feel a little bit tweaky and weird, and that's why we need to do it. Here we go. That's about 9, 10, so we'll do 10 more of these. And if it starts to feel like too much, don't struggle here. Just give yourself a little bit more TheraBand or step closer to the point. Make sure that you're not doing any kind of weird trying to get it that way. That means that it's too hard and you should make it easier on yourself. Okay, so now we're gonna change over to the first side again and do the left hand. So now right hand is stabilizing over here, left hand elbow into the sides, holding onto my TheraBand, and I start to pull for an external rotation. And breathe. Make sure that you're not pulling with your body weight. You can soften your knees, keep your hips nice and square, that you're just externally rotating. So you should feel like an achy, almost maybe even a little bit of fatigue achy in your shoulder here. Nowhere else in your body, but you should feel it in your shoulder. If you don't, check in, maybe take a mirror, have somebody look at you and see if you're doing some kind of torquing with your body. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, next exercise. So I'm going to go down on my knees because we want the shoulder to be about the same height as the beam that we're putting our TheraBand around. So now I'm just going to take both TheraBands in my right hand, bring my elbow up so that I'm in this cactus position. So I'm in a right angle. And so my elbow is not lower than my shoulder, but it's the same height as my shoulder. And I'm just going to go down a little bit here so you can see that that's coming straight out to the TheraBand. So now I'm going to imagine that there's a pencil coming out of my shoulder and elbow, and I'm going to draw a circle on the wall next to me with that pencil. So I'm just moving my elbow around in circles, and my shoulder is the middle of that circle. So make sure your circle's not down here. It's probably not going to be up above your shoulder. Just make sure that your shoulder is about the middle of that circle. Don't make it too hard or too easy. Make sure you feel some resistance all the way around the circle. So there's really never a resting point here. Now I'm going to go backwards, same thing. You can do 10 to 20 of these. And now we're going to move to the other side. Here I am on the left side, shoulders pulling down just slightly, elbow is lifting up. I'm going to start over. Here I am on the left side, shoulders down, elbow is up, my frame is nice and square, and I look over and I can even look. I'm making a circle with my elbow, and my shoulder's the middle of that circle. If 2 TheraBands is too much resistance, make it 1. And now I'm going to go backwards. right, here we go. Shake that out. Make sure to roll your head around. We're using a lot of muscles that we probably don't do when we're just doing our tricks in the air. So the next exercise, I'm going to stand up again. Step back a little bit. Take the TheraBand, one in each hand. Pull my shoulders down, pull my belly in, lower ribs in, and I'm just going to pull back with my elbows. So back and back and back. And my elbows are coming up to shoulder height. Not down here, but shoulder height. But my shoulders aren't coming up. My shoulders stay grounded down and my elbows come out to shoulder height. I'm going to do 10 to 20 of these. Make sure to not start doing stuff with your ribs, but it's really just about the shoulder. So the core is stabilizing the ribs and pelvis, and we're not leaning back at all, just elbows up. You're going to feel, hopefully you feel a lot of work going on in your shoulders here. Okay, drop the TheraBands for our last thing here. So bring your arms out just like in the same position that we were doing before with the pulling out. Elbows are at the same height as the shoulders and the shoulders are down. And then we're going to bring our hands up towards the sky to make like a cactus or a goalpost. And here we're just going to bring our hands down and up, down and up. Elbows stay out. Don't let your elbows flop down. So elbows stay out. I like to call these cactus flaps. It's like we're flapping a cactus. I think that's funny. You can take it or leave it. So we'll do this 30 times, and if you want to add a little bit more, you can bend your knees and come into like a chair sit, or you can even turn your toes out and widen your legs and come into a horse stance, externally rotating your legs to help warm up your leg muscles. You should definitely be feeling some sort of sensations in your shoulders, some aching, some work. We'll do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Shake it out. Move your head around. Some of these rotations are really good. Yeah. So feel free to do these exercises at any time of day, and especially as a warm-up for your aerial skills and your performances and your teaching. And make sure to make any comments that you want about this video or about any other video, and any requests that you have. I like to take requests. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon here at Casa Chango.